It is finally time here for opening day 2022 as the Cincinnati Reds are going to be playing host to the Chicago Cubs here at Great American Ballpark, and toeing the slab here on opening day for the Reds is the right-hander Tyler Mahle, looking to improve upon or just keep rocking with his 2021 campaign stats. And we'll start things off with Jonathan Villar going to lead off the game with a Cubs single into left field, so he's on first base. Nick Madrigal will then strike out, but then Villar goes and swipes second base to put himself in a scoring position. Next batter up is Ian Happ, and he's going to fly one out to deep right field, but Naquin is camped under it, and he's going to put it away, and they're not going to test his strong arm as Villar holds up at second base. So now with two outs, Patrick Wisdom goes down on the old hammer as Mahle gets out of it. Scoreless first inning. Now on to the bottom of the first, where Marcus Stroman was on the hill for the Cubs, and Jonathan India with one out in the two hole hits one into right center field, and he's going to be in the scoring position with a double. And then a ball gets away from Contreras with Naquin at the plate, and India moves up to third base. So now Naquin then goes down swinging. So it's two down, a runner on third. Joey Votto then grounds out to second base as Madrigal makes the play, and it's still scoreless here at the end of one. We move things on to the bottom half of the second inning, where Tommy Pham is going to draw a walk here to lead off the inning. He'll take his base. Next batter up is Mike Moustakas, and he's going to hit a ball hard right back up the middle. So now it's first and second here with nobody out to start off this inning, as then Tyler Stevenson's going to lay down a bunt right side, and somehow Frank Schwindel rockets this over to second base, gets Moustakas. So now it's runners on the corners with one out instead of second and third, as then the hit and run's going to be on with Stevenson running, but then Farmer pops at the shallow left field, so Stevenson has to retreat, and it's not deep enough to tag up the runner Pham. So now with two outs, Senzel's just going to chop one over to third base, and no runs come in. Still scoreless. Move things on. Top of the third now. Mahle still on the hill, obviously, as Nico Horner is going to slap one out to right field for a base knock to lead off the inning. Now they're back to the top half with Jonathan Villar. 2-0 count to him. Ball gets in the dirt, and then Horner tries to go and take a bag, but instead he's going to be gunned down at second. But Villar is then walked as it gets away from Mahle there, so he'll take his base. Runner on first, one out. Now it's Madrigal going to smack one over to the right side of the field, and that's going to get through the infield. So back-to-back base runners here with one out. It's first and second, as then Ian Happ grounds into what should be a 6-4-3 double play, but it's a very slow turn as Farmer does not charge that ball. But then Mahle does get out of the inning as he strikes at Wisdom for the second time this game, keeps it scoreless. Bottom of the third, Jake Fraley going to lead off that inning with a ground ball hard to the left side, so he's on first now. Taken off for second. India's sawing off on a sinker that gets in on his hands, but Fraley was on the move, so he gets to second base. And now it's one down as he's going to be on third now, as once again Naquin at the plate. Ball gets away from Contreras. Fraley moves up to third. He's 90 feet away, and Naquin's going to get him in as he hits a ball over to Madrigal, and he can't handle it. It's going to be ruled a hit as well. So an RBI infield single for Tyler Naquin, and the Reds strike first in this game. They take a 1-0 lead. Move things on to the bottom of the sixth now later on in this game, as Mahle would walk Patrick Wisdom, and then Contreras dribbles one through the right side. So back-to-back base runners here with two outs, but then Mahle clutches up, and he's going to be able to get a pop fly from Suzuki out into left center as Senzel camps under that one, puts it away for the final out. We now move on to the bottom half of the sixth, where Keegan Thompson comes on for the Cubs, making his obviously first appearance of the season, and Tommy Pham's going right back up the middle on him, hangs a curveball, and he takes up the middle for a single. Next batter up is Moustakas, hits a ball right to Frank Schwindel, knocks it down, and somehow manages to turn two, as that's twice this game Frank Schwindel has been a nuisance there on defense for this Reds ball club. And then with 2 outs, Tyler Stevenson getting some nice 2-0 hitting, goes back up the middle with a single. After that, it's Kyle Farmer going down the left field line, slow roller. Stevenson going to be super aggressive here, try to go for third, and he just does not have the speed for that as he's gunned down on the bases. And now Tony Santillan comes on as Loud and Heavy by Cody Jinks is blaring through the ballpark, and he's going to inherit a runner on, or he's not inherit, but he's going to allow a runner on there and then strike out VR as he strands him at first. Now on to the 8th inning for Santillan's 2nd inning of work, and it's going to start off with a little bloop single as Jake Fraley proceeds to be a bad left fielder and lets it bloop in front of him. But then Santillan strikes out Happ, and then after that it would be a deep flyout from Patrick Wisdom as Naquin camps under it in right field. Runner retreats back to first base. So runner on first, 2 outs. Good position still for Santillan, but here it's going to be another single. So now first and second here for the Cubs with 2 outs, trying to get a 2-out rally, and Suzuki hits a ball over to shortstop Farmer, and he botches it. So now it's bases loaded after the infield hit. That's actually Suzuki's first career big league hit. So bases are juiced. 2 outs here for the Cubs. Luis Cessa comes out of the bullpen for the Reds here to try to get out of the jam. Facing Frank Schwindel with a chance to do something with the bat, and he cannot. Pops it to the same part of the field that Suzuki did earlier in the game, and it's still a 1-0 lead for the Reds. Justin Wilson comes on for the save because I literally pressed the wrong button. But anyways, he comes on, gets 1 quick out on the ground ball from Ortega. After that, it's going to be Horner getting a little bloop single that just barely gets over the outreach glove of India. So he's on first base, now to the top of the order with VR, as he's going to fly one out to deep left field. Fraley ranging back, and he puts it away over the shoulder. That's 2 down, 1 out away from an opening day win, and they get it, as it's going to be another pop fly to left field, this time to Fraley's left, and he's putting it away. 3 outs down in the 9th inning, and the Reds have won their opening day game by a score of 1-0 over the Chicago Cubs, just barely inching that one out here as they get the victory. Start the season off 1-0. Player of the game honors go to the starting pitcher on the day in Tyler Mahle. He had 6 innings pitched, 5 hits given up, 6 strikeouts, and 2 walks, but 0 earned run on the day. And the only run of the game came in on what was credited as an infield single on a ball that Nick Madrigal probably could have handled, but instead he botched it and it allowed a runner to come in. That was the only run of the entire game. The Reds now travel out to just outside Atlanta to take on the Braves at Truist Park, and we'll start things off in the top of the 1st inning as Jake Fraley does his job as a leadoff man and draws a walk off the starting pitcher, Touki Toussaint, and then he would immediately induce a double play around the horn, 5-4-3 as India goes down. So that's immediate 2 outs, and then Tyler Naquin comes up, and he almost puts the Reds on top here in the 1st inning, but that's just barely fair, so he has to go back into the batter's box, and he proceeds just to ground out to second base as Albies makes that play, and it's 0-0 at the end of the top half of 1. Nick Lodolo making the start for the Reds here, his 2nd start of the season, the rookie out of TCU. The left-hander facing Albies induces a ground ball to send Zell playing shortstop on the day as Farmer gets a rest. Next batter up is Heredia, goes right back to Lodolo, makes the play himself. Quick 2 outs in the inning, and then he would get Ronald Acuna Jr. to pop up into foul territory, and Moustakas is there to put it away. So a 1-2-3 inning for Lodolo. Moves things on, top of the 2nd. Joey Votto works a full count, and he is going off the top of the left center field wall. That's going to be an easy double for the Canadian as he's in scoring position, but now can the men behind him drive him in? Tommy Pham cannot as he goes down swinging. After that, Mike Moustakas, good pitch to hit, but he doesn't get enough on it as it dies out right before the track. Votto does not tag up as they do not test Acuna's arm, and then it's going to be Aquino at the plate, and he also goes down swinging on the splitter, that is. So nobody comes in to score. We now move on a little bit later into the game. Top of the fourth, Naquin dropping one down the left field line, but it's going to be a diving stop by Austin Riley. Very nice play there. Still scoreless. Now on to the bottom of the fourth, where Lodolo fires a pitch to Albies as he's going to get that one over the outreach glove of India for a base knock. After that is Heredia, who draws a walk. So first and second here with nobody out for the Braves. And Lodolo is going to give up a single down the left field line to Acuna. A run will come in. Only one, though. So first and second now with no outs still. 1-0 Braves lead. Then it's Olsen going down the left field line. This one's going to get fully into the corner. Fraley gets it into the cutoff man. One run comes in. The second one trying to come around, and Acuna's got the tag slapped on him by Aramis Garcia as they cut him down on the relay. And then Lodolo strikes out Riley, and then would also get a flyout from Marcell Ozuna as they hold this inning to 2-0 for the Braves. Could have been much, much worse. So now we move things on. Top of the fifth, and Moustakas is laying down a bunt against the shift. He's got himself an infield single, so then it brings up Aquino, and he's going to hit a ball at the right center field. The Punisher, could it be? Daddy Longlegs is back, baby. Right center field, 2-run shot, and Aquino has tied the game up with one swing of the bat here for the Reds. Now we move things on, bottom of the fifth, as a ball gets through the shift on the ground with one out as Duvall gets that single. After that, it's Hernan Perez striking out. So 2 down, runner on first. Albie is up with the top of the order, and he's going to go right center field, gapping off the bottom of the wall. Duvall's going to round third and scores. Aquino has some trouble with it, but it's only going to be one scoring as the next batter up, Ozuna, grounds out into just a ground out as India fields and fires over to first, so it's a 3-2 ball game now. Atlanta back in the lead. Tyler Matzik comes on in the top of the sixth, and he's going to have a breaking ball get away from him as it plunks India right on his elbow pad, so he'll take first base, and then Naquin tries to lay down a bunt against the lefty. He does, and he beats it out as d'Arnaud just cannot get to it in time. So first and second, nobody out. And Joey Votto cannot pull the trigger on that up-and-in curveball as he goes down looking. Next batter up is Pham, and he's just going to pop one up into foul territory. d'Arnaud is under it, puts it away for out number 2, and now it's up to Moustakas as the ball gets away from d'Arnaud. They're being aggressive on the base paths, and he throws out India over at third base, so nobody comes in that inning. Now we move things on to the top of the ninth, where Kenley Jansen, the Braves' new closer, comes on, and with one out, he walks Joey Votto, does what he does, gets on base. And then it's up to Pham, who then strikes out on a slider. So Votto at first, still 2 outs. Mike Moustakas then draws a walk. So the go-ahead run is now on first base. And then Aquino steps into the batter's box. The man who was already homered in this game. Tyler Stevenson gets a little bit more speed at second base. And Aquino almost puts the Reds up 2 here. But instead, it's just barely foul, and then Aquino just swings at a dumb pitch inside. The two-seamer runs inside well on him, and he whips through it as Kenley Jansen, in a typical Kenley Jansen save, gets 3 strikeouts but walks 2 guys, makes it interesting, but the Braves do hold on to win by a score of 3-2, as Kenley Jansen does get player of the game honors as he picks up his 5th save of the season. Nick Lodolo with an okay start, 5 innings, 6 hits given up, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, 3 earned runs. You'd definitely like to see better, but this is a bad team. He is a rookie, so of course what's going to happen is what's going to happen. Matt Olson and Ozzy Albies both had 2 for 4 days. Ozzy Albies had a double and a run driven in. Matt Olson had 2 doubles and a run driven in. And then for the Reds, of course, you had Aquino, who hit a bomb in the 5th inning, and it drove in Moustakas Up next, the Reds travel out west to take on the LA Dodgers here on Jackie Robinson Day as Hunter Greene is on the hill making the start in his hometown. Induces a ground ball to start the game from Trey Turner. That's one down, but then things would get a little bit rough in the rest of the inning as Chris Taylor is going to go left center field gapping up against the wall. That's an easy two-bagger for Taylor, so he's in scoring position. Next batter up, Freddie Freeman pokes one over the head of Moustakas. Taylor moves up the third, so runners on the corners now with one out. 0-2 count to Max Muncy, and he's going to go down the right field line, and that's going to get way up into the corner as it's going to be second and third here. Muncy drives in one with a double, but then Greene clutches up and strikes out Justin Turner, and then also Mookie Betts on the slider. So back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning, but the Dodgers do have a 1-0 lead. But Hunter Greene would take those two strikeouts and capitalize them. In the second, strikes out Bellinger to start the side, and then he gets Lux on the hammer, and then for the third out, he gets Austin Barnes looking 101 on the gun. That's 5 straight strikeouts for Hunter Greene. We now move things on to the top of the fourth inning. Tony Gonsolin on the hill for the Dodgers, and Jake Fraley is going down the right field line. Same spot Muncy went to. He's leading off the inning, Fraley is, and that's going to be a double. Now into scoring position, Jonathan India then jumps on an 0-1 pitch. Next batter up and hits it off the top of the left center field wall, inches away from a 2-run shot. Instead, an RBI double to tie the game. So now bottom of the fourth, Hunter Greene trying to keep it 1-1, but instead it's going to be a lead-off double for the Dodgers. Max Muncy with his second double of the game already. So now full count here to Turner. Going to bloop one into right field in front of Aquino. They do not test his arm, so it's runners on the corners here for the Dodgers. Now it's Mookie Betts at the plate, and he's going to hit one past the diving glove of Moustakas at third base. A run comes in, and the Dodgers take a 2-1 lead. So it's first and second, nobody out, and it's going to be Bellinger hitting one into the right field corner. Aquino ranging way back and puts it away in foul ground. Runners will tag up to make it second and third here with one out. They're going to intentionally walk Gavin Lux to get to Austin Barnes, the 9-hitter, and that is going to work off as they are going to get him swinging on the slider. So now 2 down. Next batter up is the top of the order in Trey Turner, and he is going to fly one out to deep left field. Jake Fraley is there, puts it away, and it's only a 2-1 game. And what's this? Moustakas, the madman's doing it again, laying down the bunt against the shift. He was safe there. They called him out. It was reversed on a challenge, so he's on first base. And then Aquino, first pitch swinging, dribbles one down the left field line. First and second here to start off the inning for the Reds. They're in business. Then Stevenson lays down a bunt to try to move the runners over, and it's going to be an infield single. So bases are juiced here for the Reds for Kyle Farmer, and he does predictably what you think Kyle Farmer would do. Pops one up into the infield, immediate out, and then Jake Fraley grounds to second base. He needs to beat this out, and he does, as a run does come in to tie the game at 2. As now we'll move things on to the bottom of the sixth, where Chris Taylor is going to go into right field, bloops it in front of Aquino. That's a lead-off single for the Dodgers. Hunter Greene once again trying to keep it tied, and he's once again not off to a good start as 2 runners get on base after the walk from Freeman and then the walk to Muncy. It's bases juiced for the Dodgers. Nobody out. Justin Turner then pokes one into right field. 1 run will come in. They do not test Aquino's arm, but it's now a 3-2 Dodgers lead here with nobody out still. Mookie Betts hits a ground ball to third base. Moustakas goes for the 5-4-3 double play instead of going home with it. They do get it, but another run comes in to make it 4-2, and then Bellinger connects on a slider that does not slide. Naquin gives it a jump at the wall, but it does not matter. Hits it over the fence. A 2-run shot gives the Dodgers now a 6-2 lead in this ball game. We will now move on to the bottom of the 6th inning, where Luis Cessa is in a bit of a jam, gives up a ground ball to Freeman, and then after that, it's going to be an absolute bomb from Max Muncy into the Reds bullpen. A 2-run shot, and it's all of a sudden 9-2 for the Dodgers after Freeman drove in one on the RBI groundout. Then you have Muncy hitting this, and we would just sim the rest of the game as the Dodgers absolutely kicked the hell out of the Reds here on this road trip. And they hand Hunter Green the first loss in his career. He had pitched very well in his first 2 starts before this, but in this one only goes 4 2/3, gives up 9 hits, does strike out 7, walked 3 though, gave up 6 runs. So the potential's there. It just, starts like this are going to happen because he's very wild and doesn't really have a certified second pitch yet. Max Muncy obviously gets player of the game honors. He was 3 for 3 on the day. He had 2 doubles, a home run, also drew a walk. Mike Moustakas and Aquino also homered for the Reds. Jake Fraley went 2 for 4. Tommy Pham homered. But obviously it was not enough to beat the Dodgers as the final score is 11-5. So with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the Cincinnati Reds franchise here on MLB The Show 22. I've been your host, Jersey Born, and I am saying, Dana White, pay your fighters challenge.